Welcome to class. We're beginning in a seated position and I'm sitting cross-legged. Won't be here for very long. But if you like to place something under your knees and cross-legged or a blanket behind your knees when you kneel, that's fantastic. Support yourself however you need. You can even sit in a chair when we take our seated poses. That's always an option for you. Let's just come together on our mat, on the edge of a blanket, preferably with the sits bones anchored, feeling those hands on the thighs. In the mind's eye, notice the sits bones and then feel the crown of the head rising up towards the sky. Feel that length, that height of your torso supported by your strong muscles, the structure underneath, which is that amazing skeleton. Close the eyes. And just come into a 3-part breath. After observing a few rounds of your own breath and the quality of that today, whether it's shallow or deep or warm or cold, whatever quality you notice. Few rounds of this breath, and then with your eyes still closed, bring the hands together in prayer position in front of the heart, pressing the palms together to remind yourself of your center and that beautiful engine we have, the heart. And we'll take a few 3-part breaths. So the first part of that inhale will be into the belly, and the second part of the inhale fills the rib cage. And then the third part, you could feel it all the way up to your collarbones and your shoulders. And the exhale, you use that belly, deeper abdominals to squeeze out the air, contraction. The chest drops slightly and you feel that reaction from the shoulders, very, very subtle. And then inhale, 3-part breath, belly, chest, belly, ribs, chest, shoulders. Exhale, belly, ribs, shoulders. Just noticing this wave of subtle action in the body when you breathe in and when you breathe out. One more 3-part breath before we transition. And then drop the hands to the thighs, and we'll transition to the floor to begin with so we can get really into a release of our skeleton and any holding that we're doing. I suggest placing a blanket underneath your shoulder blades with the sternum raised up slightly. That will support an unrounding of the back. If you choose to just lie down, that's fine as well. You just take the feet to the floor and the knees bent. If you're on the blanket, make sure that the shoulder socket is going to be hanging off the edge of this blanket. So you'll see as I lower myself down and then use my feet on the floor to press upward towards the top of the mat, and that allows that skin to be pulled down towards the tailbone and allows the shoulder sockets to hang over the edge of the blanket. And we have a gentle passive back bend. And we can keep the hands or the arms in cactus, open hands, or out to the side in T arms. And feeling the back of the skull, connect with the mat, feeling the back of your hands, the back of the arms. Keep the knees bent if that's better for your lower back. This is supported fish. So we're really a very great everyday pose to take in your morning or your evening. And since we won't have a class on Thursday, feel free to activate this for yourselves to really unround the back and open the heart. Follow that 3-part breath, noticing the active physical path that the breath takes in this position as you deep into that belly, ribs, and chest, and exhale, belly, ribs, chest. And you notice that the back of the ribs contact that blanket if you have the blanket below you. Ride the waves of your breath. You can take right leg straight and left leg straight if that's comfortable for your lower back. But if it's not comfortable for your lower back, then simply keep them bent to support that lumbar spine. Can you hear the breath inside your head when you inhale through the nose? And exhale through the mouth or the nose. Allow this sound of your breath to lull you into a deeper sense of the body and a deeper awareness of where your body and mind and spirit are today. One more 3-part breath, inhaling, exhaling. And then roll over onto your side, roll with the blanket there. Use your hands to lift you up slightly and just remove the blanket for the moment and lie down on your back again with the same soles of the feet on the floor position. Feet hip width apart and knees hip width apart. See if you can connect that line between your sacrum at the base of the spine, that triangular bone, and the back of the skull. And draw that line along the spine. Feel the arch of the lower back lifting off the mat and the back of the ribs making contact with the mat. So you feel that arch in the spine, and now we're going to take the awareness to the navel and press the navel towards the floor. So what that's going to do is take the arch out of the lower back. And then you can take the navel towards the sky and lift into that arch more, and then take it back again. So let's exhale as we press the navel into the floor, activating those lower abdominals, very important support area. Inhale, you can lift that navel up, arch the spine, not too much, but just enough of a subtle motion. As you inhale, fill the belly, the ribs, the chest. Exhale, actively press that navel towards the floor. And then inhale. So you can follow the rhythm of your own breath, really noticing the physical action of the pelvis tilting, matching the breath. We don't always get a chance to really coordinate our movement and our breath, but this is a great baseline to start with, and then maybe it will translate to other movements that we take out in the world. Marry the breath and the movement. And we're strengthening all of those nice abs, the lower abs, and as well as those that support the ribs, the obliques, or actually more like the front abs here. So this is always a good everyday pose too. Great. Come back to a neutral spine. Find that neutral for yourself. And then if you have a strap nearby, you can grab the strap. Here's mine. Inhale the right knee towards the chest. You can hold the back of the thigh, just so if you don't want to put any pressure on your knee or you don't want to over flex your knee, just hug that towards the chest and take the strap over the ball of the right foot and straighten out the right leg up towards the sky. And notice as you drop the weight and feel the gravity of down from your foot all the way down to the hip, you can feel that gravity dropping into that right hip so that your top of the femur bone actually just tucks right in to that hip socket. And then you might feel that buzz along the back of the leg hamstrings and the calf. Spread your toes. You can bend and straighten the leg. And let's take it to a more diagonal, just so that we're not forcing that leg to a diagonal. So we're not forcing this into too much flexion on our lower back. And then with the hands around the strap on either side, guide the right heel towards the left hip and keep the toes in line with the knee. And you can bend and straighten here. Nice. Feeling kind of an early wake-up call for that hamstring in our practice today. And then slide the foot back to a neutral position in the knee, noticing that stretch again, inhaling, kind of send that energy up towards the heel, and then the exhale, feel that drop into the hip. And then bend the knee and release that leg. And then inhale the left knee towards the chest. Hold on to the back of the thigh if you want. And then you can take the strap along the ball of that left foot, straighten it out above you, drop into the hip. Breathing deep into the belly sends that message to that pelvic area to release, oxygenate. You can take your leg to diagonal if you want to take the deep flexion out of that leg. Bend and straighten the knee. Glide the knee in that bend and straighten position, keeping it aligned with the middle two toes. And then take the strap in the hand and slide that, guide the left heel over towards the right hip as you still drop into that left hip. So you feel it along the back of the leg in a different way, bend and straighten. And you're also getting the hip flexors, the IT band, lots of bonus stretches to this position. Find your breath. Nice. And then come back to our neutral. Spread the toes. We forgot that side. Drop into that hip one more time, feeling that gravity. And then bend the knee towards the chest and place the strap to the side. So now you're again back to that feet on the floor, sacrum skull alignment, appreciating this continuity created by the spine from our top of crown of the head all the way down to our toes. Beautiful line of our bones. Exhale it out. And then we're going to strengthen our legs a bit here. So let's take that same stability through the pelvis. So you're going to keep it nice and steady, hip bones pointing up, and keep that steady as you lift the right foot off the floor about an inch, and see if you can straighten out your right leg in that diagonal to match the left thigh. So our thighs are matching, we're just lifting up the leg. And if you want, take your hands to the hip bones just to notice that you're keeping those steady. Let's take that leg, so heel towards the floor and then back up towards the sky. So we're just doing a few leg lifts here, touching down and then lifting up, getting some quad strength. Inhale as the leg comes up. Exhale as it goes down. That exhale, getting us in touch with the base, the foundation. The inhale, allowing us to float and become lighter. And then bend the knee and take the right foot to the floor. And let's do the same with the left, keeping those hips nice and steady. Inhale the left foot off the floor about an inch. Notice that steadiness, and then straighten the leg to mash the right thigh. And now let's lift the leg down let's keep the leg down towards the floor and then lift up. Noticing the glide in the hip. We are oxygenating things, just taking that oil can to the joints. Continue this lifting. Again, all of this is pretty easily done in the early part of your day. If you're still lying down, or if you're about to go to sleep, you can just do some of these stretches. And then bend the knee again, bring the right foot to the floor. Inhale in. Exhale, take the arms next to the body and reach the fingertips towards the back of the heels. So bring the heels towards those fingertips. They find each other. Nice contact there. Take the length of the arms onto the mat. Notice that the shoulders roll away from the ears, or roll away from the body. So they're melting towards the mat. Press the entire length of the arm and the palms into the mat. And from here, we're going to bridge up. So lift the hips up off the mat, curl up through the spine, tailbone pointing towards the knees, and then pressing through the length of the arms allows the sternum to come closer to the chin. And then we'll snake the spine back down to the ground, bone by bone, and then finding that sacrum. Inhale, let's try that again. Inhale, curl up. Each time pressing through the feet, seeing if you can get a little more mid, upper spine arch. Exhale, ease it down bone by bone. And then inhale again, following your breath. And come down to the mat. And then we're going to straighten out the legs, roll over onto your left side. Use your upper arm for a pillow for the left ear. And just say here on your side, you can take your right hand in front of you. Just notice that balance on the left hip. And then we're going to bend the right knee into that 90-degree position with the leg. And as you do this, match the knees, find them side by side. Point your tailbone towards the bottom of the mat. And as you point the tailbone, notice that you've got a nice toning through that lower part of the torso and your glutes. And you're opening up that front of the quad. You can reach back with your right hand and touch and see if you can find your right foot, but I don't want you to over effort. So if you don't find it, just keep it in the right angle. If you do find it, you can press the foot into the hand and then release. And then we're going to roll over onto our belly on the way over to the other side. And the forehead comes to the mat. You can reach the arms next to the ears. Make that same 3-part breath here, making contact with the breath. You can feel the body contacting the earth in a different way, the belly contacting the mat, and the ribs, chest, and exhale, release. Feel that absorption of that energy below you. One more inhale. And an exhale. And now let's take the tops of the feet to the mat. And really feel when you press the tops of the feet into the mat, you're getting toning all the way up the legs. And then see if you can squeeze your glutes about 25% and point that arrow of the tailbone towards the heels. Okay, everything is very toned there now. So we're going to inhale the head off the mat. And then place the head back down on the mat. So as you do that, notice again those feet pressed into the mat were just toned. Inhale the head off the mat, make yourself long. And exhale down. And now we're going to take the right leg off the mat and the left arm along with the head. Inhale. Exhale down. And then the right arm and the left leg. Inhale up. With the head. Exhale down. Another rotation here. Notice if you're breathing deep into the belly, you're supporting that lift, almost like you're inflating the back of the ribs. And now let's lift everything off the mat, the arms and the legs. And just reach nice and long in our locust position. Long on the inhale. On the exhale, notice the base. Exhale down. And then we'll inhale everything off the mat. And then paddle the arms and the legs. Swim across your favorite body of water. And exhale, forehead down, sigh out everything out. And then roll over onto your right side. Line up that skull sacrum, knees together. And then bend the left knee into that 90-degree position. Now activate that tailbone pointing towards the heels, towards the bottom of the mat. If you want to see if your left hand can find that left foot, try that. If not, just let it be that right angle. It's fine. Or press the foot into your hand so you can have that opening across the front of the body. Knees stay together. Notice the path of the breath in this horizontal position, reclining. And then release the leg. Come over onto your belly briefly. We'll transition to all fours. In our magic trick here for the knees and all fours is to have that blanket underneath the shins and take the kneecaps and let them slightly hang over the front of the blanket. So you save your kneecaps and keep the anchoring in the shins. Take the wrists below the shoulders. If that's a lot of pressure, you can come to your fists, or you can bring the hands forward. Or if you really find this uncomfortable, you can come onto your side or your back and do curls there. Just come back to that pelvic tilt and do a cat-cow in from that position. Always feel free to go to that other position upside down if you'd like to do that. So let's take our nice beautiful cat position, curl the tailbone under towards the floor and lift the back of the ribs up towards the sky. And then finally, we're going to look at the knees. So feel that progression from the tailbone all the way to the crown of the head, navel toning towards the spine, and then exhale, lift the tailbone up towards the sky, roll up the spine, past the shoulder blades, and then lift the head up. And then curl again into cat. Exhale, cow. Follow that deep breath. Inhale again. Exhale. Back to a neutral. Find that neutral spine. So you're supporting that, all those abs are supporting that horizontal position of your spine. And then we're going to take the right leg back straight, curl the toes under, and feel that reaching through the heel And then lift the right leg off the mat, keeping that steadiness through the hips, and then lift the left arm next to the ear. And then bring it all down on your exhale. Bird dog pose. Straighten out the left leg, curl the toes under, reach the heel back, steady everything, lift the left leg off, and then the right arm. Exhale brings you down. Alternate again. On the other side with your breath. And then again. One more rotation here. Seeing if you can balance that beverage on your sacrum without spilling it. And then let's take the hips side to side back in our neutral position. Just, you can even make a U with the hips. So you can take your hips over to the right and then a U position, U shape behind you. So roll the hips over to the left and then the right again. And then come back to kneeling and we'll transition to sitting down or some neck work. Whatever seated position you'd like and are comfortable with. Take those blocks under the knees, support yourself however you need to. Find that nice length of the spine. Inhale that head towards the sky. Find this tail, find the sits bones and rub your hands together. Place them on the lower back for support and just noticing that arch, that protective arch of the lower back. Great. Take the hands to the thighs. Inhale that 3-part breath. Exhale down. Next inhale, reach up towards the sky into prayer position and then down through center. Let's drop the fingertips to the side of the mat. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, take the right chin over the right shoulder. And then back to center, other side. Gliding on that axis inside the skull, right and left. Taking our time. Come back to center. Look down at the heart. And then look up at the sky. Keeping a soft gaze. And then come back to center. Find that center. Inhale, grow tall. We're going to take it to the side. So the right ear toward right shoulder, pressing through the left fingertips. Take your fingertips back towards the back of the mat and the thumbs forward. So we open up the collarbones at the same time. That inhale again, that traveling upward and floating the left ear up towards the sky on that inhale. And the exhale easing down to the side. Again, no over-efforting. This is just a softening. Take the right hand, help that head back up to center. To the other side, inhale up, exhale, left ear toward left shoulder. Press down through that right fingertips. Easing up that tension in the neck. And then take the left hand to the left ear, come back up. Drop the head to the heart again. So drop the chin in between the collarbones. And then trace the collarbone on your right towards the right shoulder, keeping those fingertips grounded. And then come back to center. Trace it to the other side. Come back to center. Just release the weight of the head for another moment. And then inhale the head up. Lift the arms out into T and then up into cactus. sunbursts of our fingertips, outward radiating cactus. And then we'll take our thumbs backward, lift the pinkies. Feel that support behind your heart. And then come back up to neutral. And we'll bring the pinkies together, the forearms together in front of the face. Press them together to the center like we do in prayer. Just press in and then lift up towards the sky. Fingertips lift up. Feel that ease through the shoulder blades, the shoulder sockets. Come back to center again. Easing everything, and then bring them together again. Another wonderful interrupt your day pose. Feel free to interrupt yourself anytime with this. And then bring the elbows into the ribs, sitting tall, and just take the palms up towards the sky so we can, again, externally rotate those arms and get a release through the neck. You already can feel taller now. And then bring those hands forward and we'll do faucets, turning the faucets. And a royal wave at each other out there and then up towards the sky. Hallelujah for good news. And then bring those fingertips to the top of the shoulders. And holding them there, we'll twist side to side with our elbows as our pointing out to the side, using our abs to turn the ribs to the right and the left. Should feel great. And drop the hands and we'll transition to puppy pose on our way up to standing. Great. Let's move the props aside. Briefly in puppy pose here. So we're really using those thighs and the tops of the feet as our anchor. And then take the hands out towards the top of the mat and the forehead to the mat. And feel the reach through. So with the thighs are 90 degrees to the mat. We're really feeling the reach through those fingertips as we find the base through the shins, the tops of the feet, and the hands, and the forearms. My dog does this pose. It looks so therapeutic when she does it. Beautiful. Now take the hands back to all fours. And we're going to inhale the right knee towards the chest and just come into a low lunge there. Just easing ourselves up to standing. With the knee, you have that back knee down, it's fine. And then curl the back toe under and come up into a bent knee forward bend at the top of the mat. Feet hip width apart. And allow the head to hang down. So allow that nice release. At the world upside down. Ribs to thighs. And with the knees bent, we're going to take the fingertips to the mat and then inhale, inflate through that back of the ribs as you lift up into a flat back. Pull the fingertips towards the feet and notice that lengthening in the spine, and then exhale down, keeping the knees bent. Inhale again into a flat back. Lengthening and then allowing yourself to drape over those thighs and just release the head down. And then take the hands to the hip crease, which is just the thigh crease with the hips. Inhale into that flat back without the fingers on the mat. And then hinging up, come to standing. Beautiful. Now let's take a nice long side stretch. So facing any direction. I'm going to fix the camera there so I can see me there. I don't want to cut off my head there. You can even grab a strap if you'd like to lengthen this side stretch. Take a strap in the right hand and then lift the strap above the head and bend your elbow and hang the strap down the middle of the back. Or you can simply take a side stretch too, but you can hang that strap down. Your left hand comes behind you and finds the strap like this. Connect that energy between the hands. Inhale, stand strong through your feet. Find that nice energy up the thigh so you activate your quads and your glutes, and then lean over towards your left leg and just allow that hand to follow that line of the strap. If you have any shoulder issues, just take your arm up towards the sky and don't use the strap. You can look down at the floor and just feel that opening of the right side, and then come back up and then release. I'm going to switch to the other side. So strap in the left hand, reach it up towards the sky like a torch, and then bend the left elbow, hang it down the middle. You can have both sides, it's fine, of the strap, and then reach back with the right hand and grab that. Step strong through those feet, spread the toes, engage the quads. There's an energy lifting up through the legs. And exhale, lean over towards the right. Just allow that connection to maintain between the hands. We're softening like we were on the floor. Inhaling, floating up a bit energetically, and then exhaling, find the base. Inhale back up to stand. Feel that release on the side bodies. Place that strap to the side. Come to the top of the mat. So we're going to go from some facing the top of the mat poses to more forward facing today. So we're going to begin in our mountain. Inhale the arms, big hug up to the sky. Invite the breath in. Exhale, bring the prayer position down through, past the third eye, past the throat, down to our heart. And then drop the arms next to the body. And we're going to balance, bringing the weight into the left. Actually, let's bring the weight into the right foot. There you go. And we're going to lift the left knee and bend it into a 90 degrees. So this is our balance here that we've tried before. And we try to keep the hips even, standing strong through the right leg and not overextending that knee, but keeping a nice long line through the middle of the knee, heel to hip. You can even take your toe down to the mat if you want extra support like this, that's fine. Or you can just challenge yourself to the pose here. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, the right hand finds left thigh. And then turn. Connect the dots here. So you've got your hand on the thigh. And it's giving me a message on the screen. I don't know what that was, but it's okay. And see if you can even gaze back towards the hand. I know in a balance, that gaze is very important. So as you move the eyes, you might falter the balance. That's okay. Come back and come down with the left foot. And now we're going to go back towards the back of the mat, but we're going to inhale the left knee up again, point the toe forward, trace a line below you towards the back of the mat. And then you're going to find that left foot on the back of the mat. And let's bring the toes into parallel position as we transition to our pose the other way. So face forward. And now we're taking those warrior feet. So we're taking the right toes to the side, the top of the mat, heel to back arch. Inhale, hands, let's take the hands to that thigh crease. Grow tall, grow out of that lotus of the pelvis. Just grow the spine out of that. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, Keeping that knee aligned and the quads engaged, lean over to the right into our triangle. And then take the hand to the thigh, reaching long. If you have a block, that's great. Inhale the left arm up towards the sky. Feel it almost like a twist here. So you've got that ribs opening up to the front. The strong base of the legs. Hand to hip. Come back up. And then we'll take our warrior, bend the right knee towards the middle two toes. Take that back foot. Might want to bring it back towards the back of the mat as you drop the hips. Great. I see that alignment. So we're not forcing the hips into any position facing forward, but we do have the hips more open here. And notice your front knee, gaze at it, see if it's dropping inward. Encourage it to stay between the middle two toes. And then inhale the arms nice and long. Grow tall out of that pelvis and exhale. Look over the right hands. Fingers facing forward, but feeling that connection behind you. Synthesizing into the center. And then exhale the hands down to the waist. And then straighten out the front leg. Bring those feet parallel. And then we'll take it heel toe into the center. Back to mountain, using the strength. And that twist is coming from your hips. And then we're going to walk to the other side of the mat. Great. And now we're going to take the weight into the left foot and the left leg, engaging quads, glutes. Inhale the right knee off the mat. Sorry, not the right knee off the mat, the right foot off the mat. And we're in that right angle position. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale. As you find that balance, take the left hand to the right thigh and twist over to your right. Again, you can take that right foot down to the mat if you need to, and twist like this with the right arm behind you. Look over to the side. If you can gaze back at your right hand, that's an extra little bonus challenge to this balance. And then bring it back towards front. And then we'll lift the right knee off again. Trace that line with the pointed foot, keeping steady through the hips. Find the back of the mat towards the back of the mat. Bring the toes parallel towards the front. And then we'll take the left toes out towards that edge of the mat. Back to our triangle, steady through our feet here. Hands to the hip crease. Inhale. Feel that pressure of your hands as a sense of base there in the pelvis. And then inhale the spine up. Exhale, drape over. Crease at that left side towards the left. And then feel your hand touch the thigh or a block. The inhale through the belly, growing the spine, and exhale. Let's bring that right arm up towards the sky. Noticing your left leg, not hyperextending the knee, but engaging that quad on both sides. Yes, nice and steady. Press through the feet as well, all those corners. And then take the hand to the hip, float on up. With this solid center base, we're going to bend the left knee towards those middle two toes and bring that foot back. Back to our warrior on the other side. Inhale the arms out to the side. Connect the feet. Softly gaze over the left fingertips. Proud warrior. Check in with that knee, the left knee. Is it in or going towards the inward rotation or outer? Let's see if we can bring it to the center. Holding steady through the legs, through the feet. And bring the gaze forward. Hands to hips, straighten the leg. And then bring our feet to parallel. Inhale up. Hands on the hip crease. We're going to fold at that crease forward. Nice horizontal. Press inward on your thighs with your hands. That should give some relief through the hamstrings, through the lower back. And then the hands find the mat, or you can stay on fingertips or palms down. Again, keeping that crease at the hips. And then if you want to drop the head, seeing again things upside down as you hold the palms to the mat. Really feeling the sits bones pointing backwards. Inhale back up to horizontal. And then we'll take the hands to the hip crease and inhale back up. Through the hips, rotation, heel toe back. Come to the top of the mat. Inhale, sweep the arms up, prayer position down through center. One more time, inhale up. Drink in the fresh air, exhale, come down through center. And as you pass the heart, fold at the hips into a forward bend. And if you want to spend some time with the hamstrings, stretching, legs straight. But if you have trouble with the lower back, I suggest just bending the knees. Then everyone bend the knees, palms find the mat, walk back into our all fours. And from here, we're going to transition onto our backs. We'll take a nice stretch more into the hamstrings and to the hip adductors. So inhale, we're going to take the feet to the floor. Inhale the right knee towards the chest. Grab that strap again. If you don't have it, just hold on to the thigh. Straighten the leg up towards the sky. And this time from here, we're going to open the leg out to the right. So keeping that straight right leg. Our base is that sacrum, nice and steady on the mat. Open up, pressing through the strap. And then you're going to take the left knee out to the side if that's comfortable for your knee. But if not, you can keep it right up towards the sky, aligned with the toes, no problem. If you find to your mind's eye to that sacrum, you'll really feel a difference when you tap into that. And just a gentle imprint onto the mat kind of steadies things a bit. And then take the foot to the floor on the left side. And then guide that foot up. Bend the knee towards the armpit. Just take a little stretch through our hip there. And then release that foot to the floor. Inhale the left knee towards the chest. Lasso that foot with the strap straight up towards the sky. And then ease it over to the left. Pressing through the ball of the foot. Maybe the right knee goes out to the side of the foot on the mat. Deep belly breath. Belly, ribs, chest. Exhale, belly, ribs, chest. And then guide that foot back up. And place the right foot on the floor. Bend the left knee towards the armpit for a little brief half happy baby here. And then release the strap. Bring that foot to the floor. Take your soles of the feet together and the knees wide apart. So we're in our butterfly position here. Again, find that sacrum. Close the eyes and find those landmarks of the body. Feet together, sacrum on the mat, arch of the spine, back of the ribs, shoulder blades, shoulder sockets rolling towards the mat, back of the skull. And then we'll take the left knee, take your hand on the left thigh, and then just guide that left thigh towards the right thigh and roll over onto your right side. Take the palms together. Thighs right angle to the body, and then inhale the left arm up towards the sky, come into a twist. Looking over the left fingertips. Keeping your pelvis steady and perpendicular to the mat. We want the ribs to get that twist. And the neck, the shoulders, that area. Thoracic and cervical spine. And then reach the left arm up towards the sky. Bring the palms together again. Let's roll back and we're going to guide that left knee. Open again, keep the feet together. We'll pass through our butterfly position again. And if this doesn't bother your knees, stay here and maybe rock side to side. And then take your hand to the right thigh, guide that thigh towards the left and roll over onto your left side. Palms together. We'll take that same twist here, opening up the right arm to the sky and then over to the floor, maybe gazing over it. And the knees try to stay together here. Settle with your breath a little deeper into the twist. Again, no forcing, just allowing gravity to ease you down deeper in connection with the body. And then right arm up towards the sky. Close that twist. And guide the knees open again. Come back to cobbler or butterfly, feet together. Really allow the bottoms of the feet to meet and press in together into the center. See if the hips are a little more open this time. Rock side to side. Inhale deep into that belly, the ribs, the chest. Exhale. Release, belly, chest, shoulders. Take your hands to the sides of the thighs and guide them up, knees up towards the sky. And here, just do a body scan, noticing, take the arms next to the body, inhale. Noticing after our active practice, what differences you've made in the body. If there's any areas of lingering tension, we can just oxygenate, breathe deeply into those places. Each exhale, the shoulders dropping towards the floor a little more. Transitioning to Shavasana, our resting pose. Feel free to place something under your knees or put your knees up on a chair or put your feet and shins up on a chair if you'd like to really release or just absorb that earth energy beneath you. Straighten out the right leg, straighten out the left leg. Open the palms up to the sky. Allow a release. A very important part of the active practice is also releasing to close the practice. If we were to do our practice and rush off into the sphere of our lives that's whirling around us, and we just do this active and walk away from it, the body would not be able to absorb the benefits of the practice. But when we take this pause at the end, this rest, it's a systematic communication through the body and the mind to benefit from this practice, come back to our breath, belly, ribs, chest, exhaling, release. We can use the breath to radiate all those benefits outward to the body, to the cells. We can even use the breath and the intention to send our benefits out to others. Send those good vibes out to whoever you're practicing with in our virtual world today. Out to your community, to the planet, to the universe, wherever you want to send it with your exhale. Luxuriate another round of breath. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Then bend the elbows and the knees to roll over onto your right side. Press the hands into the mat and help yourself up to a seated position. Hands at the heart. Now allow the fingertips to drop towards the floor and then the back of the hands to come together and come to the cupped palms. So we're in a lotus, hands just receiving nice positive energy out there from each other, bringing it back to the body, back of the hands together, back to prayer position. I so appreciate everyone practicing with me as I move around the globe. Thank you. Namaste.